Hi, my name is Rachel Burge and I'm the author of The Twisted Tree, a ghost story set in Norway during the dark time. The story is about a girl called Martha who can tell things about people just by touching their clothes, as if their thoughts and emotions have been absorbed into the material. It started the day she fell from the tree at her grandma's cabin in Norway, the day that she became blind in one eye. Determined to find out why she has this weird ability, Martha goes back to Norway hoping that her grandma has the answers. But when she gets there, she finds her grandma is dead and there's a peculiar boy hiding in her cabin. And from then on, things start to get very spooky. So the whole idea came from Norse mythology. I don't have the gods running around and battling each other like in the Marvel movies. Instead, I drew upon the original myths for inspiration. It was doing a tarot course with a lady called Maddie Aruna that first got me into Norse mythology. Maddie is a shaman who follows a Norse path, which means that she believes in gods like Odin, Freya and Thor as real beings that she can communicate with. As she was explaining the meaning of each tarot card, she started to tell stories of the Norse gods. And there was one card in particular which really captured my imagination, and that was the Hanged Man. And this shows Odin hanging from Yggdrasil, the world tree. Odin had a real desire for knowledge and would stop at nothing to get it. He even gouged out his own eye to sip from a well of wisdom. And one day, Odin approached the Norns, who are three women who weave destiny in this huge tree called Yggdrasil, and he asked them to teach him the secrets of fate. And when they wouldn't tell him, he hung himself upon the tree for 9 days and nights, and he was almost at the point of death when he saw the runes bubble up in the well beneath him. Now, the runes are his gift to mankind, and with them you can do magic and also see the future. So I took this original myth and I gave it a contemporary twist, and I thought, what if there was a mortal woman who helped him when he cut himself down from the tree and they started a new family line? What would a modern day descendant of theirs be like, and what kind of powers might she have? So my favourite character to write was Hel, which is one of Loki's 3 terrible children. And Hel is half living and half dead. So half of her is a beautiful woman and the other half is a skeleton. And the gods threw her down to the underworld for being too loathsome to look upon. But she didn't weep and wail. She picked herself up and she made herself queen of the dead. And when my main character Martha meets Hel in the story, Hel forces her to look at both sides of herself, the side that she doesn't like as well as the side that she does. And Martha has a lot of self-pity and self-loathing because her face is badly scarred and her eye is blind and faces in a weird direction after falling from the tree. And Hel helps her to accept the way she looks and the gift that she's been given so that she can step into her own power and write her own story just as Hel did. So I've always had an interest in ghosts and the supernatural, which comes from having several spooky experiences of my own in childhood. So I grew up in a 2-bedroom house in the Midlands with my mum and my nan, and my mum had me when she was quite young, 18, and we shared a bedroom together. And my mum collected dolls, and in particular clown dolls, and they were everywhere in the room, so every shelf, every surface was covered with them. There was even this life-size clown doll that sat on a chair by the door that used to freak me out. And one day I was sat on the floor, I must have been about 7, and I was playing and I saw one of these dolls move. And I don't mean that it fell from a shelf or it slipped from its stand, its hand moved like it was beckoning me, and I ran from the room and I would never go back in there again.